You might think it funny, you might think it strange. She's the queen of the USA. She's the queen of the USA.
I am at the Point Pub and Grill in Bedford. This is one of my favorite places to come. They have a whole vegan section in their menu. Vegan burgers, patty melt, mac and cheese. And what I normally come here to get is these delicious vegan nachos. They come with beans and jalapenos, but I'm not a fan of those. But I am a fan of this delicious liquidy vegan cheese. Yum. That is wonderful. If you've been watching my channel recently, I've been going live a lot. I recently went down to the Sacramento area, San Francisco. I originally went to California's Great America because I really wanted to ride a roller coaster. I'm a little bit of an adrenaline junkie. I like to go fast. I like to have fun. And I decided that since I was down in the area, I should hit up San Francisco and see the sights while I'm there. At any shit could hit the fan, and these big cities could be completely destroyed, devastated. Anything like, I don't know, the Golden Gate Bridge could literally collapse at any time. Like, the structural integrity of these so-called amazing wonders that humans have built is extremely questionable when you have concrete and rebar inside of salt water. Like, concrete and rebar by itself is a recipe for disaster, but then you add the fact that it's submerged under salt water. It's like, that is just... I was driving over the bridge praying that it wasn't gonna be my time. It is pretty impressive. It just needs to be made out of different materials so that it can actually last and not completely fall apart on humans. So, anyways, it's always fascinating to see the big cities and to see, especially now during the pandemic, how many places are like mask Nazis. Most places that were saying that if you were fully vaccinated, you don't need to be wearing a mask. I don't know about you, but I'm as fully vaccinated as I'm ever going to be, so I'm fully vaccinated, sure, and yeah, I'm not wearing a mask. So I was really, I guess you could say lucky. The bars down there, a lot of them are actually asking for vaccine identification, like a vaccine proof, to even get into the bar, into the club or whatever. So yeah, things are definitely going to being more restrictive, but we already knew that. The New World Order is their plan, and all of these lockdowns and restrictions, they might temporarily lift, but we all know that, they're going to be sending out more variants of the virus, more mutations, and sending out more diseases to try to get us sick and ultimately to try to call the herd. This is all about depopulation, Agenda 21, and pestilence is just one of the 4 horsemen. Okay, so we have to watch out for many different attacks in various arenas, if you will, not just sickness, but you also have the 5G towers blasting this radiation at us. You also have famine coming up, you have war coming up, like a lot of different things against humanity to try to kill us off. So hopefully you are preparing. I'm definitely preparing. I have taken a lot of steps to try to get off of the grid, getting my own septic tank, having like a well on my property getting buried food so that when famine comes, confiscations happen, they can take whatever they can find and not the rest. My family will still be supplied for because I have prepared ahead. So hopefully you are preparing ahead. There's a lot of people that are sitting, waiting around for a rapture, waiting around to go to heaven, waiting around for some savior to come and save them, and ultimately that's just really not the reality of the situation. You need to do what you can to prepare so that you have the best chance of survival. Your soul didn't come here to get called off, okay? Your soul came here to fight back, to survive, and ultimately to get into the golden age. It's worth all of this darkness. It's worth the testing, the trials, the tribulation to get into that better world where, you know, you can enjoy this physical experience, this physical world in a complete paradise of peace, prosperity, and the protection of innocence. So I'll definitely cheers to that. I'm going to dig into these nachos and I will catch up with you in just a little bit. Yesterday I went live in Wairika. There was a Hmong protest held at the old courthouse building where the Board of Supervisors was having a meeting, and one of the topics on the agenda was the recent water ordinances. There's a lot of drama with these ordinances, and ultimately they are unconstitutional. To cut someone off from their access to water goes against the 8th Amendment, which protects us against cruel and unusual punishment. If there is a war against marijuana, you know, go in and cut down their plants. Don't cut off their water supply to where there's not only adults being cut off, but there are children being cut off from their water supply. I don't know, like, I really don't care who you are. If you support children being cut off from their water supply, I don't know what in the world is wrong with you, but you really should do some soul searching and figure out what the heck is wrong with you. Okay. This really makes me very angry when children are being hurt, regardless of an illegal cannabis plant being grown or not. There are children involved and they need water. That's just flat out. Go in and chop down their plants, okay, that's a different topic. But if you cut them off from their water, I've seen videos of children crying for, you know, for water, for sustenance, because they were in evacuation zones, not able to get the sustenance that they need. And before you say, oh, what kind of irresponsible parent would have their child in an evacuation zone, are you even American? I don't know about you, but I'm going to stay on my land and protect my home no matter what. These evacuation, you know, orders, whatever, they're not even constitutional. You have the right to protect your land. And that's the end of it, okay? So regardless of if you don't agree or not with them leaving the evacuation zones, they have a right to stay there, and they have a right to have people bring them supplies if that's what they need to make sure that they are taken care of. Ultimately, like I've said before, the sheriff is the law of the land. The sheriff decides what laws are going to be enforced or not. The sheriff could go in and arrest the DA, the mayor, the police chief, any of these city police officers, chiefs. The sheriff could go in and arrest. The sheriff is the one that the buck stops with. So whether or not this gets handled properly or not, I mean, I guess whether the world blames the sheriff is a different story, but I personally am looking at the sheriff because I know that Sheriff Jeremiah LaRue has the power to do all of this, to drop charges, to release the body cam footage, to release the dog Silk if Silk is still alive. The sheriff has the power to do all of these things. So if the sheriff doesn't step up and take that power, if the sheriff allows the DA and other court people to railroad this and take control of it, well, ultimately, I'm going to judge the sheriff. And the powers that be, they're corrupt, but the local sheriff is something that you personally can have a personal relationship with, can work with to change your county on a personal level, okay? Big government, we're not really in support of, right? But this, at a local level, your sheriff is someone that you can elect to be in that position, to be a constitutionalist, to protect your rights, and to enforce the law to make sure that everything runs smoothly. I've said before, I am very anti-anarchy. We need law and order, good law and order, to keep society functioning properly, ultimately to create a golden age, right? If there's an anarchist situation, you have to let other people do whatever they want, right? Do what thou will is the whole of the law in an anarchist situation, because there is no law. There's no government to enforce the law. So whatever pedophiles want to do whatever they want to do, they can get away with it. I know before you say, oh, well, we have government now and pedophiles are getting away with what they're doing, because the government is corrupt. Okay, that's why. Because the government is full of corrupt pedophiles, ultimately child abusers in power. But if you have the opposite of that, right, the inversion of the inversion, you'd have righteous people in positions of power, people that don't abuse children, people that want to make sure that child abusers are actually punished, rather than, okay, the child abuser gets 1 month in prison and the person that's growing cannabis gets 3 years, or something absolutely ridiculous, like how the judicial system is run nowadays. We have bad people in positions of power that need to be removed, and that's about where it is. You, in an anarchist state, you can't have, enforced veganism. And obviously, those of you who aren't vegan are like, woohoo, let's have anarchy then, right? But that's not where I'm coming from. I'm coming from a place of, if I see you abusing an animal, I have to step in. I know that dog, that cat, that cow, that chicken, they can't verbally speak for themselves. They can't defend themselves. Like, if you go up to a lion, the lion can defend itself. The lion can tear you to shreds. But you don't go up to a lion because you don't actually have courage. You go up to a helpless little cow and you kill them because ultimately you're a coward. And I have a problem with that. I think that if you go up to a cow to try to hurt the cow, that we have full responsibility and right to step in the way and defend that cow to the death if it is necessary. You can't have that in an anarchist environment. And if you even understand remotely how this reality that we are in works, you know that anarchy is not even going to last long, because somebody is going to come along and see the vacuum of power that there is in an anarchist state and take it by force, by, winning over the crowd, either way. Usually by force, by violence. That's just kind of how things go under the dome here. But it won't last long. And that's the point. I'm here to make a golden age that lasts 1,000 years. And it can't be a golden age if there are no laws to protect the innocents, to make sure that peace is guaranteed, and that ultimately anarchy is avoided. Anarchy without government. I am pro-government, just a government that is pro-human, that ultimately wants what is best for this world, and that's not what we have right now. The golden age is definitely something that I want to talk about more in future videos, and thank you. And if you have any questions about the golden age or what your life will look like during the golden age, all of the excitement, you see how it's like making me smile just thinking about this, of how much of a better world that we can create. I'd love to answer any of your questions in a future video, so please, let me know. Ultimately, I am here to make a better world, to make your dreams come true, to make a better world for me and you. So please reach out to me, let me know what kind of questions you have, even if you have ideas and ways that we can make this world a better place. I would love to hear from you, and I look forward to it. So until then, I hope that you have a wonderful day. May God and the Goddess bless you.
Shall I say, would it be a sin if I can help falling in love with you?
Get over it.
Like a river flows surely to the sea, darling.